Ate another 10, reviewing another 10. Let's do this shit. If you don't have anything for lunch and are a rough, tough adventuring sort like me, you go out for a walk and end up finding a thrilling adventure with twists and turns for both you and your digestive tract. That's what happened when I went to Papuseria La Xoyita, a Mexican food truck in the parking lot of a nearby gas station. First, the good. I got an order of pork and cheese papuses and a carnitas torta, and it cost about $20. And for $20, they handed me a bag of food that was so heavy it nearly tore my arm clean out of the socket. It came with the papuses, some slaw to put on them, chips and salsa, the torta, and no less than 4 chili sauces to accompany it all. Now for the bad. Everything was piping hot because it was all made to order, but that came at the expense of how long it took. Despite it being a Mexican food truck, it's not the sort of place you can visit during your lunch break because you probably won't have enough time to actually eat the food and get back to work on time. Speaking of the food, these weren't the best papusas I've ever had. I know many of you may not even know what a papusa is, but imagine a really thick pancake made out of tortilla and stuffed with meat and cheese. The thing about papusas is that they're thick compared to a flat tortilla, but still thin enough that it's like eating a sandwich. These papusas were so thick that the meat and cheese got lost in the shuffle. Not bad, but could definitely be better. The other problem I had is that the truck isn't set up to take credit cards, it's cash only. Which, hey, I grew up around pizza and hoagie shops that only took cash because they were owned by Italian businessmen. And I'm all for avoiding a cashless society, but when you're in a gas station parking lot and only accept cash, it means that if someone wants to do business with you, they have to use the gas station ATM. That charges you a couple bucks and there's a 50% chance that somebody put a card reader on it and is stealing your identity. That's a pretty big ask just to eat some Mexican food off of a truck. But overall, pretty good, all things considered. Just make sure you have cash and time. 7 out of 10. I heard through the grapevine that Arby's had some sort of super spicy Diablo menu items, and decided to give them a try because my wife had the car and Arby's is the only place within walking distance. And I'm here to report that it was fucking disgusting. It was hot. And I won't pretend to be some super macho man when it comes to spice, but this was inedible. You see, when you eat something spicy, it's a give and take. You're experiencing pain, but should also experience an enjoyable flavor. Arby's Diablo sandwiches gave me the experience of pain in exchange for the taste of chemicals. So it ended up being inedible, not for the heat, but because it tasted fucking disgusting. Even if I don't hold this one menu item against them, Arby's is genuinely speaking a disappointment. You get a beef and cheddar and you're all excited until you bite into it and get a mouthful of cheese sauce, because it was all put on that one spot. Arby's is nothing but wasted potential and empty promises. 4 out of 10. La Huerta is Mexican restaurant number 849 in Conway, and this place was as okay as you can imagine. Like every other okay Mexican spot, I swear to Jehovah our food came out in an amount of time that can only be measured by a Higgs boson collider. In fact, I think we were seated, served, ate, paid, and left in the span of 4 minutes. Like many other Mexican restaurants here, it's very quick and very bland. Not as bad as some others, but if you have low standards and need a meal to be quicker than a hummingbird's fart, it's one to check out. 5 out of 10. David's Gourmet Burgers are yet another burger chain with 10 locations around Arkansas. While their burgers come up well short of Freddy's, their fries are on some other levels. I don't even like fries that much, but these blew me away. If you've ever been to an East Coast boardwalk and had that style of fries, these are right up there with those. 7 out of 10. On the Border is a national and apparently international Mexican restaurant chain that I had just never heard of. I think that if you didn't have 8 billion Mexican and Tex-Mex options all around you, but for these parts, it's pretty below average and overpriced. 5 out of 10. Tender Shack is yet another chicken tender spot like all the others around here. Only it isn't. Because it's a fucking lie. It's fugazi.
It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
In Conway, Tender Shack's address is 955 East Oak Street. Outback Steakhouse's address is 955 East Oak Street. Confused? It's because Tender Shack is a virtual brand used by Outback Steakhouse for delivery apps, so unwitting customers don't realize they're ordering from Outback Steakhouse. And they suckered me, in addition to forgetting part of my order, including the dipping sauce. This would be a 3 out of 10 normally, but it's a 0 out of 10 for being a house of lies. Update. In a previous video, I said Popeyes was significantly better than Chick-fil-A. I would now like to amend that statement by saying that our local Popeyes is now a complete and utter shit show. This pains me to say, but we went there and it was like unwittingly stepping into a circus. I'm as understanding of service workers as can be, but there was a long wait, the person taking our order seemed like they just started training a few minutes ago, the majority of the items we ordered were wrong, and for good measure they gave us someone else's order on top of what we ordered, which meant someone else there was going going to be waiting even longer. On a tip, I tried their spicy flounder sandwich and it was completely inedible. It tasted fishy, like fish that came in on a hot truck and was left out for a week fishy. It was actually a good thing they gave us someone else's food because that's what I ended up eating. Get your shit together, Popeyes of Conway, because you're now a 4 out of 10 and well behind Chick-fil-A. Beyond the Wok is a Chinese takeout food truck, and it would probably be a 3 out of 10 just about anywhere that isn't in the South. But for what we've encountered here, it's pretty good. Their General Tso's chicken is sickeningly sweet, but their fried rice at least shows some signs of effort, beyond day-old rice and soy sauce. And their pepper beef actually tastes of pepper. So for Central Arkansas, it's a 7 out of 10. This can be directly contrasted by Jin Wei Chinese Takeout, which quite literally made me rate the previous Chinese takeout spot higher. Jin Wei aggressively tastes like nothing. You'll be staring down a container of meat, vegetables, and sauce, knowing you're about to be hit with flavors, only to find nothing on your palate. Their fried rice is perfectly terrible in that it isn't white, but it also isn't a color that denotes it's been flavored with anything, while also being gummy and clumpy. You could honest to God do better by buying those frozen Chinese food things from Target or hell, Dollar General. 2 out of 10. Sometimes it takes an extraordinary event for a man to find God, and I can report that just that sort of thing has happened to me, because I have been inducted into the Church of Waffle House. Is it great? No. Is it good? It's okay. But what it most certainly is an experience. The Waffle House has a vibe, and its name is apathy. No one at the Waffle House cares. You are what you are, and it is what it is. It is a judgment-free zone where everyone is there to enjoy their yellow cheese and mediocre waffles. The staff are friendly because they know no one is going to complain that their hollandaise broke or that their steak isn't medium rare. They'll just eat whatever you put in front of them and leave. Though I will add that saying you want your home fries smothered and covered is more fun than actually eating them. I've never had a potato that tasted less like anything, and if you told me someone grated a brick of styrofoam, I'd believe you. Overall though, it's a cozy place to sit in your pajamas and eat a greasy breakfast no matter the time of day and without a care in the world for how your ancestors or God see you. 8 out of 10. And finally, we come to Love's Donuts. Now, I've lived a lot of places, which means that there are always spots I know that when I move away will be missed. That's Love's, my new and old reliable. And while their donuts are your standard issue 5 out of 10 at best, the thing that I'm going to miss is the thing I never knew existed, the kolache, a Czech-Slovak pastry that traditionally held fruit, but immigrants in Texas decided to start putting meat in. In addition to decent breakfast sandwiches, Love's offers kolaches filled with ham and cheese, sausage, and my personal favorite, boudin, a French Cajun-inspired pork sausage. Yes, it's a French Cajun sausage in a Czech-Slovak pastry. Oh, and they also put jalapeno in there. Now, I've never actually been to Love's Donuts because they deliver, and it is just convenient as all hell when I wake up hungry and know I can get a damn good breakfast on my doorstep in a half hour. God bless you, Loves. 9 out of 10. On my last video, I got recommendations to try Don Pepe's Burritos and Mike's Place. I will be sure to try them, but if you have any others you want me to hit up, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you when I see you.